Hi, I'm Carol Jurgensen Sheets, aka Carol the Coach, and I'm here to help you to live your best life. And to do that requires that you change the inside and the outside of you. So, how do you do that? Well, let's start with your thoughts. If your thoughts are negative, if they're put downs, if they're critical, then what happens is you create neurons. And neurons that fire together wire together, and they create more critical thoughts. And what I know to be true is that what you can do is have positive thoughts and create neurons that fire and wire together. Now, I know it may be difficult for you to believe that you can change the neurochemistry of your brain, but that's what I'm here to tell you. I want you to exactly know that you have that kind of power. We all do. You know, my grandmother, who probably would be 100 right now, was a Christian Scientist. And she would say things to me like, Carol, let nothing disturb the harmony of your thoughts. I grew up with those kind of messages. And when you grow up with those messages, you have a tendency to look for the positive or to interrupt a negative thought and change it to a positive. And so I'm going to ask you, if you have 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day, how many of your thoughts are negative? How many of your thoughts are repeat thoughts? How many times have you said those same kind of thoughts, and as a result, you had that same kind of outcome? You can change your thoughts. And you do that in a very specific way. Now, Byron Katie, the queen of changing your thoughts, really encouraged us to ask ourselves 4 different questions. She called it the inquiry, the works. And what she really had us examine is, when you have a thought, do you absolutely know that that thought is true? I mean, if I do something that I don't like and I say, I am so dumb, is that really true? Of course not. That might have been a dumb thing to do, but I'm not dumb. That is not so dumb. I exhibited a behavior that was not a smart choice. So when you're working on your thoughts, you have to be kinder and gentler with you. You know, I've been struggling with an online course that I'm creating. And I'll have to admit, in between working on it, I say things like, I don't know that I'm going to get it. I don't know if I have the aptitude to know the technology to create this course. This is so hard. And just this morning, I said to myself, you know what? I will get through this. I will get through the learning curve. I will make this course happen. And once I get it, I got it. And it will never feel like this again. So let's get through it, to do it, and to work out all the negativity that's within me. Truly, one of the things that I believe is that with our 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day, many of them are negative. And when I see somebody who has a beautiful face, or a beautiful body, or a beautiful spirit, when I see somebody who is really bright, or loves dogs, right, Boo? Boo. Or is in a situation that they have been able to maneuver, I think to myself, I hope they know that they have all those gifts. Because if they don't know that they have those gifts, they may focus on the struggle. And why focus on the struggle? other than to say, hey, what does it have to teach us? You know, again, from my negative thinking about this course, I happen to believe that I can master anything if I put my mind to it. There's just a part of me that wishes I didn't have to work so hard, spend so many hours on it, do so much exploring, and do it all myself. I'm a big believer and I want help, and I'm sure you do too. So, as you're having a negative thought, ask yourself, do I know this to be true? And how do I feel when I have the thought? That's what Byron Katie would ask you to ask yourself. How do I feel when I have the thought? And then she would ask you to turn it around. It's another thought you can have that is equally as powerful, but in a positive way. Because remember, neurons that fire together wire together. And what I know about stress is that if you have repeated stress over and over and over, it changes you on a cellular level. It literally does. It does something called kindling the neurons. They fray. They lose their density. It's like a rope that frays. And then that very inability to process information because they're frayed contributes to more fraying. And it just means that we have to be kinder and gentler to ourselves. We have to allow ourselves not to know everything, not to be everything, not to look a certain way. I mean, it doesn't mean we don't go for some self-improvement, but it also means that we are brilliant no matter where we're at in life. So I'd like for you to write down 5 positive thoughts. 5 thoughts that you either believe about yourself or wish that you believed about yourself. And if you can't do that, go ahead and write the negative ones down and then do what we call a turnaround. Remember, Byron Katie says that you're to ask yourself when you have a negative thought, do I know that to be true? Do I absolutely know that to be true? How would I be without the thought? And how can I turn that thought around? A very simple process, and one that you can practice to the point where you start doing it naturally. Well, that's my positive thought for the day. Thanks for sticking around. I'm Carol the Coach, aka Carol Jurgensen Sheets, and you can go to my website if you want more information. If you want some workbooks to help you work through this, you can go to Carol the Coach, and nothing else, browse through the 500 articles I have on building your self-esteem, loving yourself, getting through conflict, decreasing your anxiety. And let's just make this world a better place, starting with one person at a time. And that, of course, is you. See you next time.